So the first question I have for you, this is the easy one. So would you mind, just because I'm fortunate enough to get to know you, for people that don't know you, can you tell everybody who you are, where you're located, and a little bit more about your business model, like what you photograph and all that stuff?
Yeah, you bet. Hi, guys. My name is Kristi, but everybody knows me as Kiki. So my business is Kiki's Corner Photography. I've been in business for 13 years. I've had my studio for 8 years. I specialize in high school seniors. I'm a retired high school teacher, so I love that age group very, very much. My studio is actually on the corner. So it's Kiki's Corner Photography. It's an old gas station that's
Oh,
been
cool.
in our family, yeah, since 1961, and we converted it to my studio 8 years ago.
That's awesome. And what city are you in?
Oh, sorry. I am from Stanton, Texas. It's a little town of 3,000 people. We say 3,000 friendly people and a few old sore heads. We try to avoid the sore heads. At 3,000, we're surrounded by bigger cities like Midland and Odessa. And that's where the
Okay.
majority of my clients come from.
Okay, cool. So completely straying away from photography right now, what is something like really interesting about you that people wouldn't know unless you told them? Like what's a fun little fact about you just to break the ice, Kristi?
A fun little fact about me.
Hmm.
I am, let's see, I'm a preacher's kid. Not a lot of people know that about me. Something that's a fun fact, I can't even think off the top of my head. I
Well,
love
for
to,
oh, go ahead.
go ahead. I love to laugh and giggle and garden, but right now my garden is full of weeds because my clients are keeping me so busy.
and
Wonderfully busy.
for, and for all of you Yellowstone fans out there that are watching along, Kristi's daughter married a Texas Ranger, and you photographed their engagement session at the Sixes, which is really cool.
It was so cool. One of those unforgettable things. So big points
Mhm.
for her fiance, who is now her husband, as of this weekend.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, in your years in business, Kristi, um, I'm sure there have been times where you've hit the nail on the head, with marketing, with sales, with products, with a session, with all the things. And there's times that you maybe, hit your thumb, along the way, because we've all done that. But if you're going to look back at your time in business and the ideas and the things that you've taken action on, is there one particular thing that you could stick your finger on and be like, this really worked? And if there is, what would that thing be?
I believe specializing is probably what changed my business. I was trying to do so many different things from newborns to weddings. I loved all of those. I'm a people pleaser to the core. So I was trying to teach high school and take care of all of those different areas of photography and loved it. And finally, my husband just said, why don't you just choose what you love to do? And I love to teach high schoolers. And so high school senior girls and guys, that's just my favorite. So I started specializing in that. Word of mouth spread, my marketing changed to just seniors, and it just took off from that. And something Terry Fody told me a long time ago is just to be myself and put myself out there. So I really think being on Instagram or TikTok, I'm little on TikTok, but mostly on Instagram stories, showing your face and getting yourself out there, they get connect with you. And I think that's really important to be, of course, you're the brand, you're the
Yes.
studio, you're the photographer, but getting your face out there where they feel, moms especially, a connection to you. So we often go to different places and people will say, are you Kiki? And I love that. So not that I'm a celebrity or anything like that, but they just watch my stories and feel connection to me. And I am the same on stories as I am in real life. And so making those connections really changed my business. So Terry Fody, if you watch this, I'm forever thankful for you and your friendship.
That's awesome. And that is a very wise thing that you just said, to specialize and to do what you love to do and what you're really good at, because you just can't help but be successful at that point. If you're doing what you love and you're good at it, your excitement will just travel right with you. So that's really good advice. So looking at next year, are you changing up plans? The wedding's behind you now. You probably got a little bit more free time. What's on your schedule? What are you thinking for next year?
Well, I had shoulder surgery this past May, and what should have taken 6 to 8 weeks to recover from turned out to be a lot more lengthy. It took 21 weeks, if you can imagine. So
Oh
I
my.
quiet. I couldn't lift my arm above my head, just unforeseen things. So I'm still getting caught up for my summer sessions. So as far as my clients for next year, our booking dates open February 10th. For some reason, we sell out within the first week of going live with our booking dates. So again, being a people pleaser to the core, it's so hard for me to say no to good clients. And when they want in, I just want more than anything to protect my time with my family and to honor the clients that book my sessions whenever they're open. So I plan to be a little more diligent about marketing in January. These are my only dates I have coming in February. We had a wedding almost 2 years ago with our oldest daughter, and then the wedding this year. So I need to be a little more vigilant about protecting my schedule too.
Yeah. So when you open your scheduling dates, what date do you offer those again, or when do you start booking?
February 10th is when the brand new class starts, senior
Okay.
class.
And then you're scheduling from February 10th until when?
So they start coming in as soon as we photograph a lot of high school cheerleader teams in May,
Okay.
and then we
Okay.
start the next class, senior class, in June. So we'll go from June until the second week in April.
Okay.
So in Texas,
Wow.
we have good weather year
Yeah.
round, just about, and we're in the desert of West Texas, so we can kind of spread those out a little bit. Now we deal with lots of wind, so we have to keep dates open for that too, just to make sure we've got backups.
But no snow.
We love it when we get snow. I'm from Kansas originally, and so we get a fourth of an inch of snow. No one knows how to drive out here.
That's
So
funny.
school closes on a quarter of an inch of snow.
I can remember being at Imaging USA in San Antonio years and years ago, and they had snow and ice. And in Minnesota, we would have called it an inconvenience. We would have slowed down maybe 10 miles an hour, and we'd have just kept going, and it literally shut San Antonio down. Like nothing was moving at all. They were using like gravel for, to throw on top of the ice so people could drive. And I can remember the cab ride was just terrifying.
It's scary because we don't know what we're doing.
So in your business, Kristi, do you have staff that works with you? Do you do it all yourself? What is your situation there?
I do pretty much all by myself. Now I will pull like my husband for guy sessions, especially tonight.
Okay.
We have a cellist that's bringing his cello and some bows, and we're going to light those bows on fire, which is going to be fun. So in those instances, I feel better about having my husband do that instead of having the mom, using flame. So he'll help me on the guy sessions. When we travel a lot, I usually bring one of my daughters. It's a fun getaway for us. And so those destination sessions we do together. But other than that, I've had interns before for high school seniors, and I've loved that. Now that my shoulder is back, I can carry my light stand and do all of that. So, and I don't know, hyper vigilant about editing. So I just haven't let go of that yet. And I just do it all. That's a hard one.
I can totally understand. So with your schedule being as busy as it is and booking out as far as you do, how are you as the business owner taking time for planning for next year or putting new action items down and working towards those? Do you have a routine that you go through? Do you how do you keep progressing with all that you're doing?
Well, as a teacher, I really believe that to be a lifetime learner is a good thing. So I'm always pushing myself. I think we as creatives are our worst critic. And so I'm always pushing myself to learn a new skill or just, there's fierce competition. Everybody's a photographer these days, they feel like, if they have a phone. So I want to keep moving and not just being stagnant. So December is a time for, my husband comes from a large family. So most of December is for family. January for me, I will do 2 sessions at the end of January. but the rest of January is a time to look at my calendar and kind of get caught up on maybe looking at the workshops or going to Imaging USA or, something like that that just
Yeah.
betters what I'm doing, pushes me a little bit.
Awesome. Are you going to go to Nashville in
I would love
January?
to. We haven't booked it yet. We have been so hyper focused on the wedding. And my husband just said, "Are you going?" And I said, "What do you mean if I'm going? We're going." I just need to book everything. So I haven't. We have yet to be in Nashville. So I'm looking forward to being there. So
Yeah.
would love to go.
Well,
I just need
well,
to get it booked.
if you guys decide to go, definitely let me know because we'll go listen to some music some night when we're there.
That would be really fun. I would love that.
Definitely. So I have the honor of talking with a lot of photographers across the country, hundreds to be exact. And between all those conversations and getting to know people, there's usually a very strong why as to why photographers do what they do. Can you tell us what yours is?
I can. Growing up, my granny used to call me her little sunshine. And so my tagline in my business is shine on. And so for me, when I finally started specializing in high schools, seniors, it's the senior girls that are, they're so bombarded with social media and what the world feels like they should look like and act like and be like. And I feel like part of my blessing of getting to be a photographer is showing them that first image behind the camera. I'm going to try not to cry. They will either laugh in delight that they can't believe that's what they look like, or they will cry because they can't believe that's what they look like. I cannot tell you how many of my clients will tell me that, "Oh, Kiki, you just photograph the most beautiful people. You have the most beautiful clients." And yes, I've been blessed to photograph Coco Rocha in New York. Loved that. We're friends. But my favorite is getting to photograph those high school senior girls that don't believe they're beautiful and just showing them that,
Yeah.
God made them in his image. They're beautiful and their confidence soars during their session. And it just gets me every time. And the high school senior guys that come, like last night, he came and he just knew he didn't want to do it. He had it written all over his face. "I'm doing this for my mom, and that's it." And I just said, "Just give us a minute and we'll be fine." And she was watching it all thinking, "Oh man, this is going to be torture." And I told the guy, "If you will be quick changing, I'll be quick too." And he got into it. I mean, we got out his golf clubs and did some really fun stuff, and he was in after that. So I love that. That's why I do what I do. That's why my tagline is shine on, because I want everybody to embrace who they are and to just shine on. The world needs them to be who they were meant to be. So
Yeah.
I love it.
I can't imagine being a high school senior right now or being in high school. Yeah, it would be incredibly difficult. I mean, thinking about, experiences where, it's not the most pleasant thing in high school. Well, then you got to go home, and you weren't subject to whatever was happening when you're at home. That was your safe space. And now, through social media, there just isn't that boundary, and for that, I couldn't imagine, so to hear your why and know that you emulate that's awesome.
Thank you very much. It's really an honor to photograph them, and it really does get me every single time.
Yeah.
So my last question for you, see, this hasn't been so bad, huh?
Hey, it's not been bad at all. Thank you. I don't know if you're taking it easy on me or what.
So if you were going to give out one piece of advice that maybe you wish that you would have had, when you started, or something that you have learned along the way, maybe it was early on, maybe it was yesterday, what would that piece of advice be to everybody that's going to be watching this?
Well, if I'm telling my clients to shine on and be who they were meant to be, then I need to take that advice myself too. So there are photographers on every corner. You can lose your sense of creativity by going over their Instagram and their Facebook and trying to emulate who they are. And I'm all for encouraging a photographer, but trying to be someone you're not, it's going to show in your work. So
Yeah.
there are so many choices. So what sets you apart is what you need to show your clients. So you
Yeah.
can be the best photographer in the world and have no personality, and no one's going to book you, right? I mean, maybe
Right.
if you have that reputation, you can have the best business sense in the world and just not, you just need to be you, I guess, is the
Yeah.
simple term. Just be yourself. And the other one is charge what you're worth, for sure. Don't shortchange yourself. So
Yeah.
you will
That-
drive yourself nuts if you don't charge your worth. And for me, I would give my pictures away. I love getting to do what I do so much. But my husband told me a long time ago, this isn't a hobby, it's a business, and you're worth it. And I love that.
Right.
He's my biggest fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's awesome. It was fun to meet you guys in January.
I love meeting y'all too.
And during a snowstorm.
Yes, we were excited. I'm sure y'all were like, same old, same old. But yeah, no, we loved it. We were out in the snow.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, I really appreciate it, and we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to do this with us today. You have such a beautiful style and approach, and when you let us put images up in the booth and stuff, I mean, they're just fantastic. So your seniors are very fortunate that you are there, because you have a great style, and we're honored to know you and work with you, and really appreciate you hanging out with us today. And with that, I will let you go, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Matt, and thanks for always taking such great care of me. Y'all make me look good, so I appreciate y'all so much. There's no other lab White House, so thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Kristi. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks, Matt. All right,
All right.
bye-bye.
Bye.